This week's Made in America takes us to Keystone Foundry in Erie. It's a business that, well, despite the dwindling number of foundries in America, keeps right on producing their products with quality and pride. Everything shipped out from this foundry is proudly made in America, made right here. The foundry, the backbone of American manufacturing, the place where molten metal is made into products we use every day. Keystone Foundry in Erie is a brass-bronze foundry. They manufacture industrial valves. The process starts with making the core. This is where sand is a very important part of that recipe. The sand is poured into the core box.
And due to the natural gas heating of 500 to 600 degrees, there are heat-activated binders within the sand composition. So it'll take the form of the core box.
The core is then cooled and sent to the core cleaning process, where flashings and feeder tubes are removed. Then it's off to the molding machine, where this molten metal is poured into the molds. Now this metal needs time to solidify.
And on the backside, that's called the cooling line. And so they will take approximately 15 minutes to travel down that line, and they'll be pushed off of the cooling line into an underground conveyor system.
The castings, still too hot to handle, now go to what's called a didium drum.
The didium drum separates the sand from the process and leaves only the casting and the gating system to continue down the conveyor to the vibratory table at the end, where we have what we call cutoff.
The valves are put through a few more steps to clean all the sand from the casting. Now the process from start to finish takes less than an hour. Quality control is front and center when it comes to manufacturing these industrial valves. In 1994, there were 7,500 foundries in the United States. Today, there are slightly more than 2,000 in operation. So what kept Keystone Foundry going when others closed shop?
I think that the primary reason why we are able to continue to compete in the marketplace has to do with our investment in technology.
A success that's made in America, made right here.
Made in America, Made Right Here is presented by Channel Lock and the Manufacturer and Business Association. To nominate a local business you'd like to see featured, click on the news tab at yourerie.com.
We are off to Fairview for this week's Made in America. Automation Devices is a vibratory feeding system manufacturer with a complete line of parts feeding equipment. Now, this company also manufactures capping machines. Every one made in America, made right here. When a company needs to have their product lined up perfectly, they turn to Automation Devices in Fairview.
The goal is to position those parts for another operation, whether it be machining, another assembly process, possibly packaging or filling.
That's where the vibratory machines come in. The day we visited Automation Devices, they were working with ammunition. Now, a company sent thousands of primers. The vibratory machine will position those primers so they're perfectly lined up when they're shipped back to the customer.
And it's our job to make sure that primer is in there the right way, not flipped upside down, because that equates to a misfire out in the field, and we just can't have that with our service people.
Another vibratory machine does the same with shell casings, lining them up like soldiers. These vibratory machines are made from start to finish at Automation Devices. Skilled workers start with a flat piece of stainless steel and roll and weld that material, making sure they're perfect when finished.
If we don't have quality, we don't have a customer. Simple as that. They insist on everything being just right. If it's not right, I tell them, don't pay the bill, just send it back.
Automation Devices also manufactures capping machines for lower production runs.
It's going to take a cap and a bottle. After it's filled, it's going to torque that cap on at a specific torque every time.
This machine helps do away with repetitive motion that can lead to carpal tunnel syndrome. Automation Devices is now a 3-generation family business. It's been in the same location in Fairview since 1967. And this is one company that's proud to be made in America.
When we work with local suppliers, we know we can get our product in here, our raw product, quickly. And if there's issues, it's way easier to talk to somebody locally, or at least in the U.S., rather than somebody overseas where you just don't get the response.
Made in America, Made Right Here is presented by Channel Lock and the Manufacturer and Business Association. To nominate a local business you'd like to see featured, click on the news tab at yourerie.com.
Pet ownership in the United States has more than tripled since the 1970s. As of 2012, 62% of American households had at least one pet. And when it comes to feeding the family pet, most owners want the best food available. Well, that's where Ainsworth Pet Nutrition comes to mind. This Meadville company takes pride in producing only the best pet food that can be made, and every bite is made in America, made right here. Ainsworth Pet Nutrition prides itself with making only the best when it comes to feeding your pet dog or cat.
The super premium, it's the best stuff because we are all pet owners too, and we treat them like family members. And so we have things like grain-free products. You know, we have no corn, no wheat, no soy products.
Ainsworth produces the Rachel Ray Nutrish pet food. It's the fastest growing brand in the country, so quality has to be front and center.
The quality expectation for human food is the same for pet food, and we take it very seriously here.
Your pet's meal starts by mixing the ingredients, then the product is cooked and goes through a drying process. And because quality is so important, samples are being constantly tested for moisture, fat, and protein.
Our company has taken steps to ensure the food quality of everything that we do, from incoming ingredients on my end of it, all the way through the manufacturing process and to shipment, and to deliver that safe quality food every step of the way.
The product is then bagged. This line puts out 50 to 70 bags a minute. That's a lot of pet food.
This plant will produce 1.2 million pounds of pet food a day.
Every bite made in this Meadville plant.
We believe in this community. You know, this business grew up in this community. This community has helped this business become what it is.
Made in America, made right here. Made in America, Made Right Here is presented by Channel Lock and the Manufacturer and Business Association. To nominate a local business you'd like to see featured, click on the news tab at YourErie.com.